Chairman, Commissioners, you are live.
Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome. This is a regular scheduled business meeting of Valencia County Commission for April the 1st, 2026. Alicia, would you lead us in the pledge, please? Okay, I appreciate all of you being here at this time of the afternoon for 3 o'clock, but the commission or the county had a other event planned for this evening, so we did have to change the meeting time rather than canceling it. And I apologize if it's been an inconvenience to anybody, but we felt this was the best action to take for today's meeting. Commissioners have the agenda before us. Are there any changes by fellow commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
I would still like to have the discussion of the commissioner reports, but I would like to table the notice of evaluation update from the assessor because she's not here, and I don't think it's fair to have any discussion without her being here.
Very good. Any other changes by fellow commissioners? Staff? No. With that said, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended this afternoon?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, is approved as amended. We have one set of minutes from our March 18th, 2026 public hearing business meeting. Any changes to those minutes by fellow commissioners? There's none. Staff? Motion to approve the minutes as presented this evening.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
I'll abstain.
And minutes are approved as presented. Okay, we'll move on to our public comment this afternoon. Yeah, thank you. Okay, we have a few people on the list, new people it looks like. So just briefly go over the rules of our public comment. You'll be allowed 3 minutes to address the commission, and your comments should be directed to the commission, not to the audience. We have a timer, we have a clock up here. The buzzer will go off when the 3 minutes are up. And at that point, I just ask that you kindly take your seat. A public comment, again, is not a venue where we can engage in any discussion with anybody. So it's an opportunity for you all to just speak your concerns or whatever it may be to the commission. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. First person, we have Maria Leyva Delgado. If you'll just state your name for the record when you guys get up to the podium, please. Go ahead.
Excuse me, Chair, Commissioners, the mic is off on the podium.
Sorry, you can go ahead and start from the beginning.
My name is Maria Leyva Delgado and my husband Adrian Delgado. We live in 12 Cadillo Road. We are the owners of 3 lots, 2 with homes. It is very unsettling that we found out from a neighbor of a Facebook post about a boulevard extension that goes through our properties. We have not received official notification of the potential impact of this road extension to our properties. We have requested information with nothing provided. We have a child and are extremely concerned about having a boulevard, high traffic volume and high speed next to our new home, or if our house is supposed to be torn down for this extension. We are concerned on the noise pollution and the rural residential nature destruction of our neighborhood, the decrease in property values, and again, the safety and well-being of our neighborhood will be immeasurably impacted. I have a couple of questions and some requests. My first question, what is the public purpose to extend this road through a rural residential neighborhood of homes? What is the public reason to not improve existing roads such as the North El Cerro Loop? I am requesting the engineering reports that detail the boulevard plans traffic, noise, and environmental reports, as well as drawings that clearly identify impacts to the lot. We have already lost a lot of sleep over all this, and its uncertainty has hugely and negatively impacted our lives already and our neighbors. Thank you.
At this time, again, I didn't mention it earlier, but during the public comment, we're not going to, we don't engage in any clapping or yelling or anything of that sort from the audience so that we can just keep it orderly. So I would appreciate you following those rules that have been set by this commission. Thank you. Next, Maria Klee, I believe.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Maria Klee, and I am here again representing my neighborhood and quiet country community of Otero Road, Arona Road, Jaybird Loop, Foxden Road, Della Road, Berry Hill Neighborhood, Ponderosa Farms, and so many surrounding homes in the area. The issue is again related to the recent vote to consider 3 alignment roads that would continue the Los Lunas Boulevard from Highway 47 to the Manzano Expressway. These alignments, chosen by your votes, will effectively destroy our community, tearing it in half with a major boulevard, not just a country road. I stand before you to submit our initial list of neighbors and owners who generally knew nothing of this vote or proposal until we began to circulate the information. The list, again, is only a small number of property owners we have reached since mid-March. As per the request of County Manager Mr. Aragon, we are following his instruction to provide this list so that we can be notified of meetings and other specific information related to this road. The residents and voters of our area consider the options very unacceptable to our community and ask that you all visit with us and accept our input before making decisions that will impact us. When thinking about the reasons most of us moved to this rural community, it's undoubtedly because of the country lifestyle. Our community is just that. It's horses, farm animals, pheasants, and months of enjoying the sandhill cranes in our pastures. We came here to have a daily, and we came here to have that at daily enjoyment, not to have a major thoroughfare in our area. You all are aware of the North Loop and the South Loop being the designated roads built years ago for travel to the East Mesa. Those roads need to remain such. To that end, we submit to you, the County Commission, the Los Lunas Village motto is small community, big possibilities. That is wonderful for the village residents, but we live in the country for a reason. Please listen to your constituents and make a decision that benefits us. Thank you again for your time, patience, and consideration. And I have the list. Can I give that to you?
Be perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, as I received this list, anybody that is not currently on this list, if you would like to, after whenever you're planning on leaving, you can go out the building, down the hall to the right to the county manager's office. And you can also leave your name with Lachelle. She'll go ahead and take down your name and put it on the same list for when those town halls are created and we have those down the road so that you have that forum to speak as well.
Thank you. Okay, next, Tom Morez.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, came here tonight to commend you for picking Mr. Jonathan Aragon as the county manager. Jonathan has been doing an outstanding job that I see. We moved here 20 years ago last month. I moved here in March of 2006. By August 2006, I was complaining to code enforcement about a pig pen neighbor next to the Catholic Church in Middle Lake where all the trash would come on my property. Went through 4 county managers, can't tell you how many code enforcement officers, went to court zillion times, nothing ever happened. Jonathan came on board, I talked with him, he got the problem fixed. Nobody else could do it. Nobody else wanted to do it. Jonathan cares about this county and communities. He's raised here, he lives here, and he cares about what happens. So to me, it was a good choice. At first, I was a little skeptical. When I was on the commission with Jonathan, we kind of butt heads and whatnot. But since then, we've got along really well. We're working on some projects together. He's doing a good job. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Tom, you still have a minute. Tom, you still have a minute 40. You could go a little longer. I'll just go sit down. Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate those words.
Okay, next, Jessica Montano.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Jessica Montano, and I'm a lifelong resident of Valencia County. Our home is at 92 Otero Road. 2 of the proposed paths for the superhighway, also known as the Los Lunas Boulevard expansion, run right through my front door. This afternoon, I'd like to share with you all some statistics. Based on the last data pulled from the USDA, 39.1 million acres of farmland have been lost in New Mexico alone from 2017 to 2022. In the US, farmland is being lost at a rate of 40 acres an hour. Pasture land alone has declined more than 64 million acres since 1997. Congratulations, your proposals will follow suit with the destruction of our farmland. These proposals rip through our traditions, our culture, our way of life, and our homes. These proposals rob the next generation of a rural and prosperous community, a value that should be respected. The shortest distance between point A and point B is not always the best option, and there are other options like the South Loop and the North Loop. I implore you to conduct traffic studies after the Los Lunas Boulevard reaches Highway 47. This would gain a better picture of what the needs of our community truly are. I would also ask that impact studies not only be public, but that they consider the value of small farms, not only for this generation, but for our future generations. I thank you for your time, and I promise to speak with you again in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. Please. Okay, next we have, I believe it's Jack and Belinda Drummond. Drummond, anybody here? Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on now to our discussion on action items. Commissioners, anything you wish to bring up at this time?
Mr. Chair, it has to do with the fire and stuff, but I'd like to thank Jonathan and his staff and stuff. We recently acquired the fairgrounds, and I think it was a good thing because with the ongoing coming with fires and stuff, and as dry as it is, a lot of residents don't have a place to put animals, and I will be making a motion here in a little bit to have actually a policy drawn up so we can actually have an emergency place to put animals. But thank you for taking the calls and actually helping the residents of the fire victims from down south. So thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
just wanted to remind the public of the grant, the housing down payment assistance, $30,000. That is now active. So for residents that are going to be purchasing a home, they can reach out to the county manager's office and pursue that $30,000 in down payment assistance.
Anything else, Commissioners? Okay. I've got a couple things. Recently attended the New Mexico County's 2026 final legislative report. It was a summary on the session hosted in Sandoval County. They did a great job. The bulk of the meeting was working or listening to senators and or New Mexico legislators. Most of them have share some of Sandoval County, but they talked about the bills that they sponsored, the bills that they supported, and went into a lot of detail regarding that. So it was a very, very good session to attend, but I provided all of you a breakdown of the summary. It's here at your desk. It's the bills that were dealt with during this past session, and you guys can read that at your leisure. So I'll leave that at that. And then the other thing I just want to bring up is our county manager, Jonathan, was just recognized in the National Association of Counties County News Magazine under profiles and service. So there's a really good article that came out in that national magazine with Jonathan Aragon, an interview, so to speak. But in either case, he did get national recognition for a lot of work that he's put forth in the NACO organization. And there again, I left a copy of that for all of you to review so you guys can see what how he is looked at a national level for Valencia County. So congratulations, Jonathan, and thank you for letting me share that with the public and with the commission.
I swear I didn't pay anybody today. I appreciate all the kind words for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, staff, anything you wish to bring to the table this evening or this afternoon?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Going back to Commissioner Bazell's comment, for sure, the fairgrounds has, kind of just taken off. I thought we were going to have this real nice grace period of how we can, slowly move into getting folks to come on board with rentals and, wanting to use the property. And we have been bombarded by people wanting to utilize that, in a particular way. So we're working very fast to, improve the grounds as they are at the moment. We want to make them safe for all. We want to clean up the property itself and make it look real presentable. We still have our grants director, Jeremiah Silva, he's working on a plan to do the design and scope of what the commission's looking forward to. But I wanted to jump onto Commissioner Bazell's comment for Jeremiah. As we saw with the fires, we didn't even think about it. That was a perfect spot for people to take their animals. And as we go into that design process, we want to keep that in mind as well. That we'll need to have that option for people when we do have relocation issues and stuff for pets. So it was wonderful to be able to provide that space for folks in the event of a fire or in the event of any sort of disaster and make it available to them. So we want to be able to have those policies in place that just when there's some sort of relocation, they know they can come to the fairgrounds and have that place for their animals and not have to worry about that when there's so many other things they'll probably have to worry about at that time. So doing really well. As we talk about fires in particular, I do have Fire Chief Prop here. He's kind of going to give us a rundown of what we can expect this fire season. It's already started, but Chief.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners. As Jonathan alluded to, we've started our fire season a little early this year. Last Monday, we had a large fire kickoff in the Norales area. Luckily, due to predetermined agreements that we've had in place with agencies around the state, both local, state, and federal, we had a really quick response to this fire. We were able to hold it from burning any structures, which I think was a huge win based on the scope and intensity of the fire. Crews did a great job getting in and redirecting the fire using fire line, bulldozers. We did not have air assets that first day. We requested them. There was none in the state. So without that tool, I think the crews on scene did a fantastic job. Definitely protected a bunch of property that day. But it does bring into light what this fire season is going to look like. We've been talking since late last year due to the absence of moisture over the winter. We're in for a really bad season. If we're lucky, our monsoon will hit in about late June, and that should take care of the later part of the season. But we should expect to see a couple of more large fires this season before we're done. We've considered implementing a ban. We will be doing that at some point. I think we still have a couple more weeks left before we're going to have to implement that. We're kind of assessing it every day between our wildland coordinator, National Weather Service, and State Forestry. Our conditions currently, especially with the rain that we're getting today, is buying us a little bit of time, but I would imagine within the next couple of weeks, we'll be implementing a burn ban in the county. Our wildland team is up and running. They're part of a interagency initial attack group running out of Valencia County. That was a request we made to State Forestry was, can we put the State Forestry engines here in our county? And if there's no big fires occurring, then we have more resources in the county to do these direct attacks. We had those resources available last week, and it proved to be hugely beneficial. So again, just we need to be prepped for what this fire season is going to look like. I like the idea of the fairgrounds for livestock evacuation. We do have livestock officers and animal control on every one of these fires. We do have pre-designated shelter sites, typically the sheriff's posse and some sites out of the county, but it would definitely be advantageous to have things right here in our backyard. So I think that's a great idea looking forward. And I'll take any questions if you have them.
Commissioners, any questions?
Mr. Chair.
Please.
First thing, Chief, thank you for all your hard work and everything. You and your staff has done an amazing job in getting on things, so thank you for that. With that, I think I would like to, I don't know how what we need to do, but maybe we could get with Sarah and actually start writing protocols because of the insurance and all of that, and actually get a plan put in place from an emergency standpoint. That way we make sure our insurance and everything is covered, and that way everything is done and beforehand. So if we could direct staff to start working on that stuff, that would be great.
Absolutely, Commissioner.
The other aspect of it, and this is more of a hypothetical, I guess, question. The pesticide planes. I was when this fire happened. What's the thing about using maybe the fire drop on a small plane? Is that something worth looking into?
Commissioner, the answer to that question is pretty simple. Any air asset has to be vetted by the Forest Service. There's a very strict criteria for what that looks like. We wouldn't typically bring aircraft that hasn't trained in this kind of event into an event due to a few things. One would be competing aircraft in the air. There's very specific rules. Communication with the aircraft, we have to be very specific on where we make water or slurry drops during a fire. Seems pretty easy just to drop water, but doing it in the wrong place can actually make the fire worse. So we need to be able to communicate with those pilots. It's been a practice that's kind of been looked down upon just because of the challenges. I think what held us back this year was just this was the first big fire, and it happened way earlier than anybody expected. We've been saying this is going to be a busy season. State and U.S. Forestry have been ramping up those resources, but the closest resource we had that Monday was in Arizona. We did get air resources on Tuesday, and since then there are quite a few more resources in the state that'll be here the remainder of the season, from the light air tankers all the way to the very large air tankers like we saw last year.
Well, I guess my question is not, would it be worth it for us to, like, either a helicopter or something, like for us to have something like that where we could rent it out or lease it out to the forestry? Is that something that's cost effective? Because I know you're doing the wildfire. We went and got that other big swamp machine. Is it something that the county asset wise would, if we had our own, because we're always seem to have every year fires, right, and you're going other places?
Well, Commissioner, I mean, aircraft is always valuable, but comes with a huge price tag. Not only in the aircraft itself, the maintenance plans, the programs, pilot training, vetting, equipment for the aircraft, and then support crew to follow the aircraft. If it was to go to an event somewhere else in the state or the country. If the commission's interested in and looking at a cost for a helicopter, I'm happy to sit down and talk with all of you. Again, they're always a great resource, but I think it's probably a little too much for us right now. Just in the support staff to fill the requirements.
Thank you.
Anything else, commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
I just wanted to commend you and your crews and what you did there. I was real worried about, was that Wednesday or Thursday, that the wind, I was very impressed that the wind didn't get that started back up again. That was, I don't know what you did, but I know your work with MRGCD and all the agreements you had, I'm sure was helpful there, but I'm glad we were able to keep it under control.
Yeah, Commissioner, what that came down to was the night period work that the crews did. We recognized our opportunity was going to be at night when the relative humidity was up, the wind was down. The crews worked all night to make sure that they were hitting hotspots that were going to be potential flare-ups the next day. And because we had enough resources through our agreements, we were able to keep that in check the next day.
Thank you.
Anything else, commissioners? Chief, thank you for everything. You and your staff did an excellent job for Valencia County. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Staff, anything else?
And Mr. Chair, just to, as you can see, our fire department again is one of those departments that just, does so much for the county and like you said, keeps those fires from getting way out of line. I mean,
It's been bad.
the nature of fire is to get out of line and they keep it pretty corralled. So Chief Ropp does a wonderful job, and just going around with the wonderful comments that have been made today. I'd be super remiss if I didn't highlight everybody that works for Valencia County. We all work together to make this community better. And without one of us, it's whoever's going to jump in, and about 10 people will jump in to help out. Every department in our county is doing a bang up job. Obviously we're without a finance director at the moment, and our finance team has, really kicked it on, and we're finding a lot of strengths within that department. And they're just doing a really awesome job, and all the departments are being very helpful in that process as well. So along with the wonderful comments, like I said, that were received today, I want to commend Valencia County staff, because without them, I don't think I'd get any of the comments that were shared today. So I'd like to give them a round of applause and thank Valencia County staff today as well. So. And
Do you want to announce the tonight's event?
Yeah, and going along with the wonderful events that we're able to put on for the county, tonight we have Easter egg hunt. This is, I think, our second annual. It's normally held at the Las Maravillas Park, but we are doing some amazing improvements to that park at this time. So we've worked with Las Lunas Schools, and we were able to relocate that to Ann Parish Elementary. That will be tonight at 5:30. Bring your kids. They have aged events, so we're not going to have the older kids competing with the babies out there for Easter eggs. But it's always a wonderful time to be out in the community, and I know that event is growing. Last year it exceeded our expectations for its first year. So if you're able to make it tonight to Ann Parish Elementary to see what's going on up there. I know Hedemius has his group from the juvenile justice kids out there working it, and they're always very helpful and doing a good job for us as well. So it's going to be a great event, and we'd love to see y'all there. And Friday we will be closed, the county, for Good Friday. So we will be closed all day that day, and we'll be able to resume services on Monday.
Anything else, Steph? That's it. Very good. Okay. We'll go ahead at this time, move on to our action items. Item number 6 is delegation of authority to county manager to execute Senate Bill 240 capital appropriations agreement. I believe, Hedemius, you're ready to present. Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Again, for the record, we are requesting delegation of authority to County Manager Aragon to execute Senate Bill 240 capital appropriation agreements. The Department of Finance and Administration did advise counties that have capital outlay projects identified on Senate Bill 240 that they are able to be presented to local boards for approval since the governor has signed the bills into law in an effort to have the agreements executed upon receipt from DFA and allow for the projects to start sooner. Department of Finance and Administration is currently drafting the agreements, which will also include the reversion date. However, the dollar amount and the scope of work for each project are set. The capital outlay projects that Valencia County will be receiving are as follows. $250,000 to purchase and install renewable energy equipment at county buildings in Valencia County. $1 million to plan, design, construct, equip, and furnish county facilities, including a sports complex and fairgrounds in Valencia County. $50,000 to plan, design, construct, and equip the Las Maravillas Park in Los Lunas in Valencia County. $400,000 to plan, design, construct, renovate, and improve the Meadow Lake Community Center in Los Lunas in Valencia County. $300,000 to plan, design, construct, and improve the Meadow Lake Park, including sporting equipment, grills, shade structures, and accessibility features in Los Lunas in Valencia County. $50,000 to plan, design, construct, and improve the Manzano Expressway Safety Corridor to schools on the east side, including street lighting in Valencia County. $50,000 to plan, design, construct, and improve Meadow Lake Road, including lighting, school zones, bike paths, and sidewalks in Valencia County. $2,480,000 to plan, design, and construct a county administration building and district attorney's office in Los Lunas in Valencia County. And finally, $3 million to plan, design, construct, and equip and furnish an acute care hospital in Valencia County. Given the list of projects, we really are have our attention drawn to the $3 million for the hospital project. That way those funds can be situated and budgeted as soon as possible, as the construction of that hospital project is moving extremely quickly. So with that said, I respectfully request consideration of this item and stand for any questions.
Any questions, Commissioners, of Mr. Silva?
Chair?
Please.
More comment, $7.5 million. I'd like to thank our legislators.
Chairman, Commissioner, sorry, Commissioner Bazell, your mic is off again.
I'd like to just make sure that we thank our legislators, because without their help, we wouldn't have this money, because they're the ones that are always fighting for us to get funds. So I think this is a great thing, but I think we also need to give thanks to them guys up there in Santa Fe.
Anything else, Commissioners? Being none, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion for approval from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion or the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote. Commissioner Bazell, your vote.
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote.
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote.
Yes.
I vote yes, is approved. Okay. Item 7, approval of an agreement with Education at Work LLC for the 2026 summer internship program. Mr. Silva.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, good afternoon again. For the record, we are requesting consideration to approve an agreement with Education at Work LLC for the 2026 summer internship program. The State of New Mexico Public Education Department did issue a request for proposals for an enhanced summer internship program in which Education at Work LLC being awarded the program operator and has entered into a prime agreement with PED. Due to the county's participation in the summer internship program over the last 5 years Education at Work has made a sub-grant agreement available to Valencia County for the 2026 summer internship program. The county anticipates providing up to 40 intern positions, which will be overseen by 2 coordinators and will run from June 1st, 2026 through July 24th, 2026 for a total of 8 weeks. Education at Work will make payment to the summer interns directly at a rate of $12 for a total of 20 hours per week. In addition, Education at Work will also fund the cost associated to pay the 2 coordinators. The county will be eligible to receive a pre-placement fee of $750 per intern for program enhancement funding. With 40 students placed, the county will be eligible to receive up to a total amount of $30,000 per the below schedule, which is 10% payment upon signing of the agreement, 60% payment upon completion of all employer registration sites on nminterns.com and final placements, and 30% payment upon the conclusion of the program and submission of any program-related deliverables. We've been working very closely with HR, with Lindsay and her team, who would be spearheading this effort. So essentially, everything is in place. We just need to get this agreement presented to this board for approval so that we can officially start rostering some of the kids and get the program up and running. So with that said, respectfully request consideration of this item, and myself and Lindsay will stand for any questions.
Any questions, commissioners? There's none. Recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I have a motion for approval from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion or the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote? Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Silva.
Mr. Chair, as you all sign that, I just want to talk a little bit about that particular program and how nice it is to have these young folks in the county building throughout the summer. It kind of brightens and livens up the place. You know, you think of a government building and it's kind of, you know, dreary, whatever. But these kids throughout the summer, they're very respectable or respectful. We get a lot of good comments from, you know, folks just coming in and out of the building, taking care of their regular business and saying, hey, it's nice to see these young kids around here, you know, doing this work. And it truly does liven up the place. So I really look forward to this time every year. We've had several students actually gain employment through us. So it's a wonderful program, and I'm grateful that you guys support that initiative every year.
Okay, move on to item 8, approval of a resolution, final loan agreement with NMFA for a new fire engine. Chief Prop.
Chairman, Commissioners, this is the final process in our loan agreement with NMFA for a brand new fire engine. If you remember, last year we received another $600,000 grant towards an engine. Unfortunately, these days, $600,000 doesn't get you much when it comes to fire engines, so we still needed to do the difference through NMFA. This loan will be paid through our state fire fund. It does not affect our operating ability. Our fire fund increased with our ISO increase, so we're doing fine when it comes to our operating budget within our fire fund. This is just really the last piece to close out the loan with NMFA before they fund. And this truck should be delivered to us by early June of this year. And I stand for questions if you have them.
Questions of Chief Prop. Appears there's none. Recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Barry, second by Commissioner Bazell. Any discussion on the motion of the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote? Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
Vote yes, is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2026-22.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 9, approval of recognition and recording of accounts payable and payroll disbursements. Manager Erga.
I'm going to try and not mess this one up. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Today, I'd like to request approval in recognition of recording of accounts payable and payroll disbursements for the month of March. These reports summarize the total number of invoices processed, the total number of checks issued, and all payroll disbursements during this period. Approval of the accounts payable, a total of 360 checks were processed in the month of March. And for payroll disbursements, we had two. The first being March 6th, the second being March 20th. For the pay periods February 14th through February 27th and February 28th through March 13th. As I said earlier, our staff in finance picked up right where they were at, got these accounts payables processed, all within the guidelines that are established within our policies. We've been working with Cibola County very closely to assist us, the Cibola County Finance Director to assist us. Everything has gone through him, and I respectfully request authorization of the payroll disbursements and the accounts payable.
Any questions, Manager Aragon, regarding the accounts payable and payroll disbursements? There being none, is there a recommendation to approve the accounts payable and payroll disbursements as presented this evening?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the accounts payables and payroll disbursements as presented.
Second.
I have a motion to approve from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? You know, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
Vote yes, they are approved. Okay, item 10, approval of a resolution, local bars. Manager Aragon.
Mr. Chair, for local bars, each bar includes a description outlining the purpose of the funds and the justification for each request. These have also been reviewed by our senior accountant and Mr. Ludi, who is assisting us from Cibola County, and have been prepared in accordance with DFA guidelines. Local bars are internal movement of money. They do not increase the budget. So those are allowable by you. They do not need DFA approval at this time. And again, everything looks great. I recommend approval.
Any questions, Manager Aragon? Being none, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion for approval from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? None. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, they're approved.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2026-23.
Okay, item 11, approval of a resolution, state bars. Manager Aragon.
Mr. Chair, state bars are also prepared the same as local. Each bar includes a description outlining the purpose of the funds and the justification for the request. They've been reviewed by our senior accountant and Mr. Ludi. They have been prepared in accordance with DFA guidelines and require yours as well as DFA's approval. And I do recommend approval of these state bars.
Okay, any questions of Manager Aragon on the state bars? Be none, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve. Second.
I have a motion for approval from Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on the motion or the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, they are approved.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this resolution is 2026-24.
Item 12, direction to staff to procure a contractor to conduct a needs assessment for the affordable housing in Valencia County. And we got Manager Aragon again.
Mr. Chair, as we had been working through the most recent affordable housing program, we did notice one of the check marks was a needs assessment for Valencia County. We did make that, we did check off that check mark, but we did realize that that needs assessment hadn't been done since 2015. So at that time, the commission had talked about updating that assessment. We were unable to do it prior to the previous program just because of the we needed to move quickly for that particular funding. So I think what we're requesting today is direction to staff to procure and contract to conduct a needs assessment for affordable housing. We spoke with Sonia Unrau from MFA, and I think she had some ideas of who we can look into, even potentially help from them. I spoke with Mr. Silva this morning. He said they're also going to be looking into this to see if we can find some vendors that can help us conduct this needs assessment to update it and get us to where we're streamlined with today's needs in Valencia County as it relates to affordable housing.
Very good. Any questions of Manager Aragon? Be none. Recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion for approval from Commissioner Bazell, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion or the second? Be none. Commissioner Richardson, your vote.
Yes.
Commissioner Bazell, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote? I vote yes, is approved. Okay, item 13 is a presentation, opioid remediation collaborative, and we got RC Executive Director Shauna Hartley. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tessa, can you pull up that presentation, please?
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, thank you for allowing me to update you today. Next slide. So I wanted to start off with just some new data that's been coming out from Sutters. Sutters is a Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which is a state unintentional drug overdose reporting system. And the good news for our national numbers and our local numbers is things are trending down. So in 2022, I don't know if you remember that higher number, but that was the highest peak of the overdose rates in the country, and that was over 110,000 people had passed away from overdoses. Sutters is not all 50 states, but it's 43, and I wanted to stay consistent with the data points. But in 2024, you can see that we have 53,000 plus overdoses in 2024. Those are national numbers, and so nationally we're trending down. When it comes to New Mexico in 2021, we actually had over 1,000 people who had passed away from overdoses. And this, in 2024, we have 739 people. So again, the numbers are trending down. I don't know if you've read in the newspaper, but Taos, Santa Fe, and Espanola, that area has actually had a little bit of an upkeep or an uptick to their numbers. And they're really taking a look at what that increase is. Next slide. So this slide I wanted to present today, this is for 2024. And when you look at the individuals who overdosed in 2024, what they also found is that 80% of those overdoses, basically there was an opportunity for intervention. And when you look at the percentages for that, what they found is that very few of the individuals who overdosed were actually in treatment, so that was 5.8%. 9.1% fatal overdose was witnessed by somebody. The evidence of mental health diagnosis with the individuals that overdosed in 2024 were about 33%. And so that's pretty consistent with national numbers that tell us that the majority of people who overdose also have a psychiatric condition. One of the big numbers to pay attention to is a potential bystander was present when somebody overdosed in New Mexico, and that was over 62%. So what that tells us is that we do a lot of Narcan training for first responders. Yesterday, I did a stakeholder group in Los Lunas, and I talked to the superintendent about doing Narcan training in the school settings. But really what the LFC has recommended and national data points has recommended that we really need to get this out to the public, because what happens is that when somebody overdoses, they're calling law enforcement, but they're oftentimes not the first responder. The person who's actually finding that person is. So finding ways to think about community Narcan training, and that would be a way to really disseminate that. And I'll talk a little bit about the incoming Narcan boxes that we have for your county, and hopefully that will help with the distribution. Prior overdose was 12.9%, and 15.1% of those individuals had just been recently released from an institutional setting. And that's something that's very consistent across the nation. Oftentimes when people are released from a hospital or from a jail, they end up going back to using the same amount that they were before they stopped using for a period of time, and unfortunately they overdose. Next slide. So since the last time I was here, we actually have 3 new entities who have joined our collaboration, and that is Luna County and Grant County and the Village of Los Lunas, which has brought an additional $3.3 million to our project. They joined in December, and in the past couple of months, I've been meeting with their leadership, onboarding them onto the project. Yesterday, we had a really great stakeholder group in the village, and really kind of just getting them inputted into an active project that we've been having for the last couple of years. So that's been going really well. Next slide. So in the past, what I've talked about is basically one of the regional approaches that we have stood up is what you call digital therapeutics. And digital therapeutics is something that is recommended by evidence-based standards when it comes to supporting people that are in recovery and have a behavioral health issue. We have done that successfully for people who are in recovery. We have an app for companions, so people who are taking care of someone with a substance use issue. And most recently, we just stood this up with our teen population. The teen app is for ages 13 through 17. It's verified by date of birth, and so there's all the safeguards in place. Teens can't go to any adult any rooms, or they can't communicate with anyone in that space. The vendor that we have for this particular app has been doing this for several decades and is very versed in all of the safety measures that we need to take. So we just rolled this out a couple of weeks ago. So we're hoping to present this to our youth populations. We're in the process of doing this through our youth council. and, really kind of presenting this as an option for our youth. Just real quick, a reminder, the app that we have, it's free. There's a peer specialist that is available 24/7. It is attached to the 988 number, so if someone is at risk of hurting themselves or someone else, it can get immediately kicked up to that mechanism. There's libraries, there are groups that people can attend, and really, I've really don't promote this as in lieu of therapy. It could be an arm of a therapist to support the work that they're doing, in addition to helping somebody who perhaps has been in recovery for a long period of time and wants to access support remotely. Okay, next slide. So I wanted to let you know that one of the recommendations that you have made for me was to visit all of the senior centers in Valencia County, which I have successfully done with Hedemius's assistance, so I really appreciate that. We went to each senior center, met with the administrator, provided them with doTERRA pouches in addition to kind of a guide as to how to use that. We have kept in contact with them. They were really excited about the product. It was really one of the highlights over the last quarter, being able to interact with the senior centers in Valencia County, and we will continue to reach out to them and make sure that they have enough of the doTERRA pouches moving forward. Next slide. So over the last couple of months, I've enjoyed being a part of a team with Chief, who's here. Many of the emergency responders in Valencia County, and the purpose for our ongoing meetings is to really take a look at what's called a co-responder response. This was something that was identified in all of the stakeholder groups when I first started this project, that law enforcement was really, really burnt out from intervening with folks at times who really need to have some type of help that they can't provide. Nationally, this is something that's happening across the country. So I've met with emergency responders in Valencia County. We have a very consistent and faithful group where we meet. We've been talking about different co-responder options, and what that looks like in some different places is you can have a co-responder that is a clinical therapist, and that person can actually go out to different law enforcement events to support that mental health component and perhaps triage that in a different way. You can do that with non-clinical folks, people who have experience, peer specialists, community health workers. We have had a speaker come out from ACF, which is in Albuquerque. They have a very robust, responsive team when people are at risk of a mental health issue or perhaps resources, so on and so forth. So collectively, what we've been doing is we're really taking a look at this issue and what's going to be the best match. In addition to this meeting, I was able to connect with a national company called PARI. PARI is a leader across the nation with law enforcement in rural areas. So PARI is being able to do this successfully across the nation in places that are just the same demographics as New Mexico. It's led by law enforcement. They have stood up these systems successfully, and we were able to have some of the emergency management team attend our national training with Sierra County this quarter. Next slide. So one of the initiatives I've been working on, this has been quite a bit of a long game. I have two physicians that are a part of our project, Dr. Adair and Dr. Pade. They're both board certified addiction medicine physicians. They have been doing training in New Mexico for many, many decades. And so one of the things we wanted to do is that when we're doing training with medical providers, we wanted to provide them with continuing medical education units, which costs them money every time they have to do that. They have to do that. There's a certain number that they have to do depending upon their license every year. And what we've done in the last this has actually been a year that I've been working on this. We had to obviously fill out the application. We had to hold a CME event with the physicians, have a monitor come and assess whether we were doing this correctly. That was the evaluation by Comagin. I just finished the interview with the Board of Medical Society, and just yesterday we got determination that we actually are a CME provider in New Mexico. That might not seem like a big deal, but it really is for rural counties because the majority of the CME providers in New Mexico are really big hospitals like Presbyterian and Lovelace. So we're actually one of the first rural county CME providers, which will be a benefit to our medical providers. Next slide. This slide basically identifies the individual support that we have provided Valencia County since the last time I was here. I worked with Jonathan on basically what we wanted to focus on this year, and that was to better triage individuals that have behavioral health and substance use issues in your community. We have so far spent $216,000 plus on AED machines for emergency management vehicles. We're supporting H2 academics for youth prevention. We have purchased medications for the detention center in addition to a narcotic cabinet. And we've also purchased 5 Narcan boxes. So I've been working with your health and wellness team to get the boxes. These are not the big fancy ones that are plugged in and that kind of thing. But they've identified locations. We're talking about how we're going to have the Narcan supply, and that basically is in line with the data that I talked about when I first started this presentation. So we're looking forward to that rollout. Next slide. I did want to just acknowledge, when I first started this project, we were really just talking about the opiate settlement dollars. In the last year or so, New Mexico has really put a lot of investment into behavioral health and substance use. We have now the SB3 dollars that have come out over the last year. Valencia is a part of a larger region where they're talking about basically how to use these dollars that HCA has rolled out to make improvements towards behavioral health and substance use in New Mexico. It's about $33 million in all of the regions. And they just recently rolled out a $2 million opportunity for early funding, which I know that your community applied for. The other thing that I actually worked on part of this, the rural transformation dollars. This is really about infrastructure dollars to assist with whatever we're standing up for people that have behavioral health and SUD issues, that there's an infrastructure, a call center, a triage process to be able to execute that. New Mexico actually received $211 million. So I had wrote for 40 million for all of our actually now 10 entities. So I'm hoping to find out how we're going to be able to access that. The next slide. So in thinking about these new dollars, I just wanted to highlight that when we're looking at different funding streams, we really want to take a step back and make sure that we are just being thoughtful about what insurance individuals have in all of our counties, because anything that we stand up when it comes to new services, we want it to be a sustainable long game resource for people. When we look at Valencia County, there is actually a really good number of individuals that are insured. What this slide really pulls out is that Medicaid oftentimes is something that providers are either not eligible to bill for or don't do that because it's so complicated. And so basically, I just wanted to highlight that when we're stepping back and we're looking at the ORC dollars, the SB3 dollars, the rural transformation dollars, that we also don't want to forget about how our counties are insured. So whatever we're standing up is going to be supported over time. The other thing I wanted to highlight is just our special populations. Special populations are defined by the federal government, identifying that there's just a special provider oftentimes that provides services to seniors, people with disabilities, children, and other. And as you can see, 18% of your population are seniors, 15% is disability, 22 is children, and 45% is other. So simply just a pause and kind of stepping back and really kind of reminding ourselves that when we have access to new dollars, that we really want to be thoughtful about how to use them. Next slide. So this is actually new data that I wanted to highlight. Over the last couple of years, we are really trying to find accurate data per county. Data for this epidemic is always, times 2 years older, not accurate. So when it comes to the physicians that work for my project and when they're doing training with medical providers, it's best that they have the most recent information about each county individually so that they can help the providers that work in that community. So I have talked about this. We did get access to Synchronous. Synchronous is a medical records portal that providers in New Mexico can be a part of. The majority of big providers are a part of that, all of the ERs. There's benefits to being a part of that because basically what it allows you to do is see that person's entire medical record despite where they went. So we have a health portal piece of that. I can't see any kind of PHI, but I can query information about our counties through that portal. So what we did is we took a look at just the diagnosis of chronic opiate use, and that would be for the last year. And what we found is that there are 1,796 people in Valencia County that have that diagnosis, okay? That doesn't mean that that diagnosis is active. It could be something that has been given to them. It could be potentially in remission. There's a lot of different things around that, but this gives you really a good idea as to the numbers that we're taking a look at. In the past 12 months, what I also did is in that information, it actually gives you how many people went to the ER that had a chronic opiate use disorder. And the number attached to that is 2,206. That does not mean that that is not the same person. 2,206 people individually. It could be one person going 10 times, okay? That person did not go to the hospital because they had a chronic opiate use disorder every time. They could have gone because they had hypertension or diabetes or something like that, but that diagnosis was attached to their record. Co-occurring diagnoses that came up with that particular one were the big ones were pain, other stimulants, which tells us that folks who have a chronic opiate use disorder in Valencia County perhaps are also using stimulants, alcohol, anxiety, adjustment, and stress and depression. So basically, this just gives us a really good picture of that. Now, when you look at the cost, it also tallies that in the last year, and these are medical claims, that doesn't factor in the costs of law enforcement having to intervene, family members being, really kind of taxed with that, any kind of crime that's been committed, anybody who's in detention. But when it comes to just medical claims that are associated with a chronic opiate use disorder in Valencia County, there has been close to $33 million spent in the last year. So that kind of gives you a dollar amount to this epidemic, and I think the important work that we're doing. Next slide. So just in conclusion, I wanted to, just acknowledge that, really this collaborative was founded many years ago. And in doing so, it was really smart to do it this way, because what we find is that we really can't do this with just one county. It really has to be a regional model. The dollars for SB3 and also the rural transformation dollars actually validate that. So really regional models are not optional. It is really our business model. For us, what I'm really trying to do moving forward is look at the opportunities that we have through our spending, but also start to work very strategically with our health councils, people who are working with the SB3, the rural transformation dollars, and just be really thoughtful about the use of the monies. So, any questions?
Well, Ms. Hartley, I want to, first of all, thank you for your detailed presentation and all the work that you guys are doing for the county and for surrounding counties and municipalities. Quite impressive numbers there, and I hope that the good trends continue to be good trends, and we just hope that all that continues. I have no questions, but commissioners, open it up for questions or comments,
Sure.
please.
Where are you, like your population, where are you guys getting your numbers from?
The world health population?
So you're saying Valencia County has 105,000 people and we don't have 105,000 people?
83,000
But if you add all yours up, it says 105
on,
on that one. If you add all the populations up, it says we have 105,000 people.
it should be actually, that didn't come out very well, but that allows for 100 and that allows for that number, but you guys are in 83,000.
Okay.
So the numbers are accurate.
Oh, okay. I just, because I added up. And you
Yeah.
And then on the training, since Las Lunas has, between Las Lunas and Valencia County, we have pretty much the most money. Are you guys planning on doing trainings here in Valencia County as far as the public?
I would like that, yes. So I think with the work that I'm doing with the emergency management team, and the purchase of the Narcan boxes and the rollout of that and the location, we would want to pair Narcan training with that.
I mean, since we have the UNM West Side campus and this, I think Valencia County would be a great place to start those trainings, especially since we have the facilities. You know, and I think, I mean, we have multiple police agencies plus the public. I think it would be a big hit to start that program here.
We definitely will.
Thank you.
We do, Commissioner Bizel, we have actually our emergency team currently has been meeting in the new fire administration building. So even if we were to have two type of locations, I think that's a wonderful deal. And yeah, especially now that Las Lunas has come on board, Valencia County truly does have a significant amount of money. The really nice thing about the collaborative is we don't necessarily look at it like that because there are some smaller counties that need a little bit of help, right? They got a smaller amount, but they have some really big needs, and everybody has come to this, this working conclusion that, hey, we already have some AEDs, we already have this, that, and the other. Let's help that smaller county get on board because that collaborative is super important. It works like Shauna said, one county can't do it alone, but as a collective, we're able to really help Guadalupe County, Socorro, Hidalgo, Luna's actually doing pretty good in Grant, but they're really nice additions. But man, this group does a ton of good work, and I really like the I can't recall what co-responder model. I think that would really benefit our officers because they do get tied up a lot by responding to mental health crises and also fire. They get held up in those calls because they've got to respond to those people and provide aid until they either take them to the hospital or take them to the detention center. Whereas if you got a professional that is able to realize that they're actually in a mental health crisis, they can assist them with like a therapeutic type program. It's really promising looking. I hope the management team, the emergency management team, can come to a conclusion on how to roll that out, and definitely that would be happening in Valencia County first, because those are the meetings we're having here. So Las Lunas so far has been a good partner in looking at that, and then we're still trying to work to get school events paid for by this collaborative. with education on opioid awareness, so that, you know, students are able to attend sporting events at the high schools and all schools within the county. It's kind of been a little bit of a hard sell, but we're gonna be focusing on them before the new school year starts again, and hopefully get kids that awareness too, and their families.
My comment is, I care about Valencia County and I want to make sure that our people
Yeah,
are taken
no.
care of too.
No, I totally get it. Yeah, I mean, it was a wonderful thing to start this collaborative, and Valencia County is kind of the leader in that realm.
I think that, you know, I work with all the counties, but our emergency management team that I'm working with here is the strongest one that we have. And I'm very hopeful that we're going to come up with a really good solution and then supports around that.
Thank you.
Commissioners, anything else?
Mr. Chair.
Please.
Shauna, with these rural transformation dollars, are those eligible for rehabilitating buildings, making them into places where these individuals can get like longer term help, a place to stay, those types of situations?
So the rural transformation dollars are really focused more on the infrastructure and the connection between 988 and emergency management vehicles, that whole piece of things. The SB3 dollars have that flexibility to, if you wanted to stand up a transitional housing program, those dollars could actually support that. The opiate settlement dollars don't support brick and mortar, but we can actually support the services at the housing program. So that's a really good question, because it's almost like Tetris in a sense, that you want to use the dollars to really kind of create that foundation and then all the supports around that.
Okay, so just to kind of follow up on that, if we have public properties, specifically thinking of one, it's just south of Rio Communities.
Is that Tom's?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I have met. I'm gonna go check out that that area, and I think that anything, I haven't seen the property, but it sounds like a really hopeful opportunity.
Okay, so these types of funds, putting them together, either the rehabilitation dollars and then using other dollars to actually provide the services, it's definitely a possibility.
Absolutely.
Okay, great, thank you.
Anything else, commissioners?
Mr. Chair, just to go back to that comment, Commissioner Berry, the wonderful thing about the SB3 dollars, as Shauna mentioned, that is a regional thing as well, but it's not necessarily the full 7 counties, 10 entities, but it does include Cibola, Valencia, and Sandoval. So Cibola is included in our ORC program. So we have a good relationship already with them. They help us often. We help them often. So as we're looking for that regional type place, it could ultimately come from those dollars, as we work forward with the SB3 funding and working with Cibola and Sandoval.
Thank you, and appreciate that, Manager Aragon. And then, if we can get some sort of something set up, notify the Soil and Water, that we'd like to make good use of a good public property, that'd be awesome.
And if it would be helpful, I could actually create a really brief summary of the $3 and what they support, just so that you have that information. Because I know people are throwing around acronyms and these dollars and what they mean. So I could provide that to Jonathan, and then he could present that to you if you'd like.
Commissioners, anything else? Okay, thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you so much.
Okay, this afternoon, we do not have an executive session, so we'll move on down to announce upcoming meetings. April 15th, 2026, we will be having a public hearing business meeting, 5 p.m. here in the chambers, also via Facebook Live. I want you to be prepared that we may end up having a meeting on April the 29th as a potential date, being that we are canceling our May 6th business meeting. We'll know, as we get closer to that date, probably within another week and a half, we will definitely let you guys know with plenty of time. But just because of that cancellation of the May 6th meeting, I just want you to keep that as a potential meeting date. And at this point, are there any closing comments from fellow commissioners? Okay, just want to wish everybody a happy and blessed Easter, and we are adjourned. Thank you all.